Hey guys, hope you're all well. I took a picture the other day of me in khaki makeup because I'm a little bit obsessed with khaki and said I would film it, so I'm going to do that for you now. So I've already moisturised and SPF'd my skin. I use the Elizabeth Arden Grey 8. I'm then going to go in with a foundation. I've chosen this new Clarins, this is called Everlasting Youth Fluid with an SPF of 15. It's illuminating and firming foundation. I'm going for 109 Wheat. I'm just using my setting brush to buff that over the skin. I like the setting brush because it gives us lighter payoff from the product, but you can really get it right in the skin. So I had this foundation on the other day and my sister was like, how come you have zero pores? And I don't have very big pores anyway, but I think this foundation makes me look even more like I've got no pores at all. However, it is very, very fragranced. I'm then going to take a little bit of my MAC Pro Conceal and Correct palette. This one is the lightest one, which is an NC15, W10, NC20 and W20. I like these because you get so many different tones, so I tend to go for one of the slightly lighter ones and just run it under my brow just to give me like a bit of, I get a little bit of discoloration just under my brows. I think it's from years of over plucking them that my skin's just a little bit coarser there as well. The brush that I'm using is a Real Techniques smudge liner brush. I just like, it's quite a short angled brush. I'm going to take my finger and a bit of that and just run it right in there. Sometimes I think the oils from your finger can just help that concealer blend really nicely. And I want to lift in the corner of my eye, just a touch. I'll do the underneath at the end. Now the colour eyeshadow I used was actually a cream eyeshadow and it was by Tom Ford in the colour 06 Burnished Copper. They don't do it anymore. But don't worry, Charlotte Tilbury does exactly the same colour. I think Charlotte Tilbury used to design for Tom Ford, so a lot of her products are similar. So she has done exactly the same colour. So I'm going to go in with the Charlotte Tilbury one because you can still get that. So I'm going to take a little bit of the product on a base shadow brush and just start from the middle of the eye so the most of the product goes in the middle and push it down, and then these seal into place, these cream colours, so just get the middle bit done so you get a nice bit of colour and then we can blend afterwards. You don't have a massive amount of time before these do set, that's why I'm really building up the middle first. I'm going to add more product to the outer edge because I want it to go up almost to the brow. I have quite a lot of space between my lashes and my brows. I'm going to take mine right up to the brow. If you have less space, take it up to the brow. It's absolutely fine. If you have tons of space like me, you might not feel as comfortable, but the more you blend it out, the better it will look. And what I would say is if you get to a point where you're like, oh, I've taken it too high, or you're worried about it, take a photo at that point, and when you see it in a photo you'll realise that it doesn't look as high as you think it does. I make that mistake all the time when I'm doing makeup, is I stop because I think I've taken it too far, and then I look back on my videos and I'm like, I could have gone so much further with that. Now if you look closely at my eyes you will see I have a natural divot here and here. I used to have the same under my eyes, but then I had fillers. It made my eyes look so much more set back, but I had fillers just so that my dark troughs didn't look quite as deep. However, on top of the eye, I can't stop that. What I tend to do is put the concealer in that you saw earlier, and then I will get a slightly smaller brush. This one is a detailer brush, and I will just lay the product to the edge of the eye with that. If I take a brush in there, then it's going to go in that divot and make it look even stronger, which I'm not always a fan of. Sometimes there's a time for it. But I want to make sure that eyeshadow goes right up to that corner. Now I actually used a black liner inside both top and bottom waterline, but I'm going to use a green one this time. This one is in Tarnish by MAC, and it's a really dark green, and I want to take that in my waterline. Now if you find that makeup doesn't stay in your waterline, don't worry. Pop it on, leave it, get on with the rest of your makeup and then go back and do another coating, and it will just seal it into place a little bit better. A bit like with all makeup, you want to keep putting small layers on so that it builds and builds and builds and kind of lasts a bit longer. I'm going to take my Tarnish liner and just pull out the edge here. Just because on my eye shape, it looks nicer if I just wing the edges out a tiny bit. Both of my eyes are different shapes, so when I'm blending it, I will correct to make the eyes look slightly more similar to each other. Just going to take a precision smudge brush and just softly buff that, because it's a kohl pencil, it moves really easily. I'm then going to go back in with my concealers from earlier, and with an expert concealer brush, just get rid of my dark circles before I seal this makeup into place. So you can see I'm actually pushing it under the eye so it stays put. I have a few blemishes. And by using this palette again, it means I can mix the light with the dark to any areas that I want a little bit of lightening, I can lift. Now I've finished concealing my skin, I'm going to go back in with my detailer brush and the Charlotte Tilbury Veruschka, don't think I said the colour, Veruschka eyeshadow. Just run that under the eye. And then I can see whether I need any more on top of the eye, because building the product, like I said from the beginning, is going to make it last longer, but also slowly build better. I like to leave the product on for a little while so it kind of adapts to the skin, and then I go back in and touch it up a bit more. Then a bit of Chanel Soleil de Tan on my mini multitask, so let's bronze this skin up. A great colour that works really, really well with khaki is orangey tones. They really, or tan, they really work well together. So I'm going to tan my skin up. I'm going to take a little bit of my Suqqu brow gel and just run that through the brows to start off with, showing plenty of texture. They're a lot darker because I dyed them anyway. Back in with another touch of my Tarnish eye pencil. So at any places it may have disappeared, I can fill it up a bit more. A little bit of Laura Mercier Caviar Volume Mascara. This is a great volumizing mascara. I think I need to order a new one. Now I could put falsies on with this, but that's going to stop the eyeshadow from being seen because it's going to put a barrier in the way, and I want you to see as much eyeshadow as possible. So, and I have quite long lashes, especially at the moment for some reason. I just swapped mascara for the bottom lashes. This is Extended Play by MAC. It's got a slightly smaller wand so you can really coat those bottom lashes. A little touch of Becca Shimmering Skin Perfecting Liquid on a Real Techniques. I think this is a 421 soft accent brush, just to give me a little bit of a highlight here. A little bit of this. This is by Kjaer Weis, I don't know how you say that, and it is Cream Blush in Blossoming. I'm going to take a little bit of that. Again, it's got that kind of corally tone to it. It's a peachy, corally tone. Pinky peachy corally, literally touched every colour there, haven't I? And then we're on to lip. I'm going to take a little bit of MAC Stripdown lip pencil. I always tend to start from the very corner, inner corner, working upwards because it opens the lip out to make your lips look slightly fuller. If you're going downwards, you're kind of closing the lip a bit. And then I'm going to take a little bit of MAC Stone, which is a really, really flat, almost like concrete colour. And it's going to make the lips look even fuller still. And that is just going on the outside of that lip line, creating what looks like a shadow. And then inside the lip, I've got this Becca lipstick in Bare. Now the last thing I did with this look is I took a little bit of Surat lid lacquer in Hadaka, and I just closed my eyes and pushed it over the middle of the lid. So it just added a little spot of interest. And there you have a finished really subtle khaki makeup.